Yo, what's good? Good morning, everybody. Give y'all a minute to get in here. Do me a favor, when y'all get in, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. We're rolling on this. How y'all doing? Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. How y'all doing? It's your boy Snap the Gorilla, aka Snap, aka The Definition. All that good shit. Let's get out of here. It is Thursday, October 12th, 2023. And yes, I'm driving through the mountains right now on my way back to Kentucky. I'm like in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And yeah, headed back to Kentucky for work. And yeah, I've been at the house for damn near a whole week. My wife went to California to visit, for her birthday. She wanted to go out there. I mean, it wasn't her birthday, but she wanted to go at the beginning of the month. And the prices for the tickets were pretty cheap. So, said, go ahead. She went out there. Anyway, I was with my kids. I had to be there for my kids and stuff like that. So I kind of worked from home, which was cool. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, how y'all doing? Now I'm headed back to Kentucky to continue my training and get ready for this next big job that we're going to do. Anyway, it is like 54 degrees and kind of foggy. I think right now I'm in North Carolina right now. Going through North Carolina. And it's not raining, but it was raining in South Carolina. Like the whole goddamn state was raining as I was driving out that motherfucker. Initially I left the house around, what was it, 4:30 in the morning. And then, yeah, it was kind of treacherous, you know what I'm saying? Because the area I live in, we do not have street lights. And I had gone through a route, I guess, to bypass a lot of bullshit on the freeway. And it was kind of treacherous, but your boy knows how to drive well, so I don't panic when I'm driving and there's some shit going on. Anyway, how y'all doing, man? It's a lot of shit going on, a lot of bullshit. It never fails, man. Like we stay about some wars, right? I think the United States, man, our biggest commodity is warmongering, right? War machining, war contracting. We capitalize, and when I say we, I don't mean we the people, I mean the government. The government that rules over us, man, they capitalize on the death and destruction of so many innocent people. And because this is happening, they use that death and destruction of all those innocent people to drag us into forever wars, right? Drag us into forever wars. And I don't mean forever wars that start when we enter them. I'm talking about forever wars that have been going on for centuries and centuries between two different countries in that particular region. That region I'm talking about is the Middle East. Arabia, right? That area, where all the Semites come from, all the Semitic countries, right? Because remember, Semites are not just Jews or Hebrews, right? Semites are Muslims, a lot of those people that come from that Middle Eastern area. And so the Semites have been warring amongst each other for centuries and centuries and centuries. And it, particularly, let's say Israel and Palestine, they have been warring for decades, right? They have been going through the shit for decades because, you know, those of the Judeo-Christian faith believe that Palestine, which is Jerusalem essentially, right, where Jerusalem is, belongs to them based on, you know, a book that was written by King James. You understand what I'm saying? Or the Old Testament. I don't know. I don't really get into that, but I do know that they believe that Palestine belongs to them because a book said that they would go back to Jerusalem, and Jerusalem just so happened to be in Palestine. And, you know, they decided they were going to go over there, and with the help of many other Western countries, they slowly took over Palestine and turned it and gave them little slivers. And that has been going on in and of itself for about a few decades. But all that has been derived from centuries and centuries of fighting and all this shit over there in the Middle East. It has never been in any form of peace completely in that entire region, right? But here's the difference. Before we entered this shit, before we go into these wars, you know, it's basically like two tribes warring over resources and warring over religious things and all that other stuff, and have been, you know, the aftermath has been relatively minor, right? Yes, there is death and destruction, but once you bring in powers such as the United States, once you bring in powers such as China, not Iran, but China, Europe, and all these other countries, we bring certain things into it that create more, that cause more devastation in a short period of time than had been going on for centuries. We go in there and we just completely devastate entire regions. And we are then able to go in there and, you know, basically bogart and say, look, man, we helped you do this and do that, so therefore we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our cut. And it's never because they actually want to spread the so-called democracy, which is, I don't know why you want to spread democracy, right? You would think that you just want to spread freedom, but that's not what they want. They don't want you to be free. They want you to be under some rule or some control. And so now what you got going on is, out of nowhere, well, really not out of nowhere. Let's not go there. Because of all of the bullying, right, that Israel has been pushing onto Palestine, right? Hamas decided to attack Israel with hundreds and hundreds, a barrage of rockets that could not, that their iron shield or whatever you call it, could not, you know, deter. And so then, well, this is according to them. We don't know. We don't really know, right? We didn't see anything ourselves. We just going by what Israel's telling us, and we see video, of course. So yeah, you know, and but we don't really know if this is real. We don't know if Hamas actually attacked them with all these rockets. We don't know if this is a Gulf of Tonkin situation, because, you know, we know that the Gulf of Tonkin situation is real. That was a false flag that initiated the Vietnam War, that gave us the reason to go into Vietnam, even though the Gulf of Tonkin situation was us, that we caused that. Like, we set that up. That was orchestrated by us, so that we can say, look what happened. We have to go in Vietnam and do this, that, and the third. And that's what we did. We don't know. I'm not saying that this is what's going on in Israel right now. I'm just saying, why should I believe anything coming out of Israel, right? Why should I believe anything coming out of Israel? Because they control most of all the broadcasting and all that other stuff. Of course, Hamas and Palestine, they broadcast their own shit, and of course you see them doing some silly shit, that I don't agree with. And I'm not saying I'm not taking the side of Palestine in this particular situation. If they bombarded, Israel with hundreds of rockets, if they went in there and they just started slaughtering children and beheading children like Israel is saying they're doing, and then of course, they're showing videos of, Hamas fighters showing dead people, and they got all that shit going on, right? And if they're doing that, if they're killing children and all that other shit, I ain't rolling with that. I don't what Israel did to Palestine and whatever the third. You don't ever go after the children, right? That is complete and utter bullshit. You don't go after civilians. And but of course, we don't really know what's going on, right? We're not there. We're not in the middle of it. We're not getting all the facts. We're not getting all the data. We're not getting all the intelligence. We're just going by what they're saying. And as it stands right now, for me, I'm just not going to believe it, whatever Israel says. I'm not just going to believe whatever they say is coming out of them. I don't fucking know that. I don't know. Because we have been lied to way too many times before and drugged into wars. Like, we were drugged into wars based on lies. We were sold the 911 lie, right? We were sold the 911 lie, where we're trying to say, oh, well, the Afghanistan, they sent people to bomb, to fly plane into this and fly plane into that, but 19 of the goddamn terrorists were Saudi Arabian. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then they're like, oh, well, Saddam Hussein was harboring them in Iraq. That wasn't fucking true. And then, well, they said, well, you know what? We will tell you is that Iraq has weapons of mass destruction. They're using these things on their own people. All this, that. Like, they will lie. And we know these are lies. We know these are lies. So why should we believe, Israel? Why should we believe what they're saying is coming out of Hamas? Like, I simply do not believe it. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that is false. I don't believe that is true. I'm not going to make any judgment in regards to that. I'm going to maintain my skepticism, because I'm not about to be fooled. And, this is something, what's going on in Israel right now is something that is like a wet dream for these warmongers, right? It is a wet dream because they love it. They love war. They love when we're in war. They love the war between, Ukraine and Russia. They love funding it. They love doing it. Whatever they're doing, they're getting. Listen, all the money that they're spending over there of our money is our money, and they don't give a shit. They're not asking us, hey, do you want to spend money? And we have things going on right here in this country that we could be using that money for. If you're going to extort us, there, the least you could do is do more for the people in this country that need that than some other country, right? We need to stop sending our money out of this country unless we are going to get something out of it. If you're going to do that, but no, that's not what they do. We're not getting something out of it, but best believe the people that are trying to send all this money to Ukraine and now Israel, they are getting something out of it, but we're not going to get anything out of it but worse circumstances, right? We are going to be getting worse circumstances. We're going to have to, our children are going to have to pay for this shit down the road. And we got too many issues. Oil reserves are diminishing. We got inflation. We got what happened in Hawaii. We got homeless people. We got veterans. All this type of shit. We got homeless veterans. We got homeless people. We have homeless citizens that aren't getting the level of care that these illegal immigrants are getting. Like, this is bullshit, right? But yet, you want to spend our money on illegal immigrants and wars in Ukraine and now Israel, right? And then you got Nikki Haley coming out, right, talking about an attack against Israel's attack against us because they said death to America, right? They always say death to America. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they hate America, right? But they didn't attack America. They attacked Israel. But, you know, we love us some, you know, our government, they love them some Israel. So who knows how involved we're going to be in that, right? Who knows? Who knows? Like, and this is what I'm saying. Now, they're saying Hamas is calling for a bloody day or some shit on the 13th, which is tomorrow. So they're like, oh, well, attack everybody all over the world and the U.S., you know, on Friday, this, that, and the third. And listen, tomorrow's Friday. I'm not saying, listen, if something happens tomorrow in the United States, I would not be surprised, right? I don't want something to happen, but if something does, or something like a so-called terrorist attack or something like that happens tomorrow, I would not be surprised. All I can say, just be prepared for whatever may happen. We don't know what form it would take. We don't know, you know what I'm saying? It might be something like an EMP. It might be, I don't fucking know. And one thing that I'm not very comfortable with the idea that, you know, I got to go to Kentucky. My family's still in fucking South Carolina. They would be with me right now, but I wasn't able to get a bigger place. But I'm working next week. I'll have a bigger place, and then my family will be coming out. But you know, I see, right? Because there's a difference. Ukraine and Israel, right? We don't have nearly the perceived obligation to Ukraine and Israel. I don't know how involved we're going to be in this Israel-Palestine situation, especially now that they're talking about how Iran might have been involved, and there's like intelligence leaks and all this, that, and the third, and I don't know. World War III might have already started, but it might be escalating, you know, and understand that if you have children that are of warring age, I don't know, man. I don't know. But they are hungry. They are salivating over the idea of an all-out, full-fledged war between not only Israel and Palestine, but maybe Israel, Palestine, and Iran. And then, you know, if Iran's involved, we know who they ally with. They ally with China and Russia. We don't know how deep this can get, right? And yeah. So that's really I don't know. If you got children that are of age that could be drafted, just figure something out, right? Figure something out. You know, not just because of this situation, but because in any situation in the future, right? Because now, you know, they want boys that when they turn 18 to sign up for the selective service. So, and that's pretty much an obligation. That's what they say, right? By law, that you're supposed to sign up for the selective service and all that bullshit. But you know, we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. I don't know, man. I don't know. They love war. They love. Oh, I'm in Tennessee right now. Now I'm in Tennessee, so I'm getting there. Pretty close. Pretty close. Anyway, I'm about halfway there now. I'm about halfway there. Halfway there. Yay. Anyway, guys, I don't know. We'll see what happens. You know, just stay prepared. You know, now you can't be 100% fully prepared for everything, but you know, do the best you can with what you got. You know, I know money's tight, but you know, and I can't tell anybody what to do with their money, right? I can't tell anybody what to do with their money. I can't tell them that they should think about buying storable food and emergency supplies as opposed to saving money. I don't know. I can't tell people what to do with their money. I can't. I can tell you what I do. You know, I try to do both. I try to save money, and I try to keep up with emergency supplies, because you know things can expire as well, especially certain things. So you're constantly having to replenish. But as you know, let's say canned goods can last up to 3-4 years, 5 years. On that 4th year, you might have to eat that, you know, so you're not wasting it, and then replace it with some new fresh canned goods. I don't know. I'm not going to put anything past this government to do whatever it wants to do to achieve its agenda. Whatever that agenda might be today, we don't know. It might be. There's multiple agendas going on. There's multiple conspiracies, multiple agendas that serve them. And whenever something like this happens, I try to look at it from the lens of a tin foil hat wearer, real shit. Because I feel like that's the best way to operate. Of course, not literally getting out a tinfoil hat, you know, and being like that, right? But what they like to paint people like me as, people like you, who question the narrative, who does their own research, who does their own fact checking. We know that they don't like that. We know that they demonize that. Oh, you read? Oh, you research? Oh, you fact check? Oh, you're something wrong with you. You're a conspiracy theorist. You know what they do. They like to do that, right? And so we can't get caught up in their verbiage. We can't get caught up in their what they painting us as, right? We can't get caught up in that. We just have to stay on. We got to stay in our square and stay focused on what we know is real. Because if anything, right, all these conspiracy theories we had at the beginning of the Modelo 19 situation, you know, everything that I've said, I see Derek C. Williams in the building, Jim Ketchum, and the Friendly Outcast, welcome. But things that me, myself, Derek C. Williams, you know, and also the doctors and researchers and experts that we kind of clung to in terms of what we wanted to believe and what rung true to us. Yo, what's going on? Sorry guys, wife called. I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream, but you know, prepare per usual. Anyway, much love, like, share, subscribe, and we're gonna keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.